The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien coming to you live from TFNN. It's Thursday, 8:30 a.m. We're going to get weekly jobless claims in a moment. There's a lot going on in this news cycle, folks. 24 hours from right now, we'll get non-farm payrolls on Friday for the month of October, and we got quite a market yet again, extending the gains that we had yesterday. We have the S&Ps up 62 points, trading at 34.97. We have the NASDAQ right now up 303 points, 12,065. The Dow up 358 points, back above 28,000, 28,095. We get the Russell up more than a full percent at 1628, up 17 points. Jumping back to the NASDAQ 100, we were just under 11,000 on Monday. We're now above 12,000. You're talking about basically about 9% in the NASDAQ 100 just this week alone. Remarkable. Weekly jobless claims. Thanks, Ruby in the Den. We're talking about weekly jobless claims, 751,000, 735,000 looks to be the estimate. Jumping back to the S&Ps, it's been quite an overnight session. Zooming in on the action that we've had, you reach a high of 35.08 at about 6:20 a.m. this morning. Pretty muted reaction on that weekly jobless claims, coming in right where the market was basically expecting. When you're talking about continuing claims, 7.285 million versus 7.2 million was the estimate. And where do we go from here? As they called it this morning, one analyst, he said Thursday morning, otherwise known as an extension of Tuesday night. The election out there still looming. Today seems to be the day that we'll get those states called. We have a press conference in Georgia, I believe at 10 o'clock in the morning. We have an all-important update at noon from Nevada, noon Eastern time. We'll get that update. Some news outlets out there calling Arizona for Vice President Biden, some not yet. I got the Bloomberg map up here right now. In Arizona, we're going to get an update from them, a Maricopa County update, talking about 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So that might be the final kind of news cycle that we wait for, depending on the votes that we get, of course, in these states. Like I mentioned, Georgia, I believe we're getting something at 10 o'clock in the morning, a press conference there, and Nevada is 12 noon Eastern time. Nevada, 8,000 votes, 6 electoral up for grabs, particularly important because 6 would put Biden at 270 above the 200, and that's the magic number that he would need. Pretty remarkable, 270 and 268. No matter what, folks, I was saying yesterday and I was saying this morning, it's remarkable that every 4 years this country votes 51-49. I mean, even though right now we have a lead of about 3+ million votes, when you put this percentage-wise, it's basically literally 51% to 49%. 1% of this country swinging either way could decide this election. And the difference in that decision is just so monumental, the swings, right? Which is just crazy. Hopefully we can find a little bit more of the ability, no matter what happens, on both sides to come together towards the middle, because you can't have a country that swings every 4 years from a mammoth difference. Hopefully you come together, you find a middle, you get things done so that, yeah, there'll be swings, but the differences are monumental, and it's so close, 51-49. We're seeing it across the board. I mean, some of these vote totals, we've seen them, but you're talking about Pennsylvania. President Trump has a lead of about 165,000 ballots, in Pennsylvania. They are still counting a lot of the mail-in ballots. Pennsylvania unable to begin counting ballots until Election Day. Folks, if you hear about it out there, the unfortunate part of all of this is that this is how elections play out. And you're hearing a lot of rhetoric from the president himself saying that basically fraud is existing. For Pennsylvania in particular, which is becoming particularly in highlight, there's going to be some legal battles there. All right, not even counting the whole dilemma of the U.S. Postal Service and the mail getting backlogged, okay, and a huge Republican donor running the U.S. Postal Service as they shut down machines. Mail gets backlogged. They got a federal judge talking about that right now. But Pennsylvania, there were calls everywhere for that Republican state legislature to allow election officials to begin counting early ballots prior to Election Day. The reason why we got Florida numbers so early, I voted by mail. My vote was counted early on. I went online and checked and saw it had been counted like 4 or 5 days prior to the election. That's all they had to do, folks. So the Republican state legislature wanted mail-in ballots to begin being counted on Election Day. They were well aware. Philadelphia had said that they were going to take days to count all these ballots, hundreds of thousands of ballots in Philadelphia alone. That's what's going on. I think any reasonable person knows that. It's just unfortunate that's not the rhetoric out there. We're going to find out a lot today. Nevada, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and we'll see where the market reacts. But right now, folks, it is a strong market, remarkable acceleration. I mean, how far can this thing go in terms of, look at this pop. We're coming up to areas of resistance here. You know, we might have regained all the fear that we had in this market from a price level of a high of 12,249. That's going back to October 13th. And you're up to 12,071. We made it all the way down to below 7,000. You see the trading range. We're coming up to an area on 2 occasions we've had a little bit of trouble with. And we have to consider is that yesterday, I mean, I'll jump to the headline, coronavirus is still a thing, folks. Without the election, this is all we would be talking about. 100,000 cases we're talking about in one day, 102,831. That number from Johns Hopkins University. Big numbers when you think about how that affects things as stocks accelerate higher. I mean, the S&Ps, we're now approaching the highs we had on October 12th for the S&Ps. You're talking about a price of 35.41. We're currently trading about 40 points away from that level. Considering we're up 62, we're up 1.8% right now. The NASDAQ we covered, we're up 2.5%. The Dow is up. You know, you're talking about we were just trading below 26,000 on October 30th. You're talking about 4 trading days later, we've gained over 2,000 Dow points. But again, we're approaching these upper boundary levels. The pre-COVID highs, 29,000. 543 we're talking about there. And jumping around to commodities, gold contract. How about the big gold is catching? Putting it on a 5-minute. Look at this acceleration overnight as you have gold yesterday at about $18.95. We accelerate. We're at $19.31, up $35. Price of gold. How about silver? Up $1.10. Notes and bonds, yet again, extending the gains to higher price. We got a 10-year up 2 ticks, 139.15. I believe we got, I'm going to pull it up right now. The yield, let me pull over a chart, is, I believe, approaching 0.72%. Let's pull it up. 0.75% now, as we've had a little bit of a recoil. 0.75% on the 10-year. We're up 2 ticks at 139.15. The 30-year up 14 ticks. And there is some big action going on in currencies today, folks. I'm going to jump around to this real quick. All right, where am I? Euro, US dollar. There's an acceleration. Now, Bank of England. England, they're getting it done, folks. They're going to be paying furloughed workers up to 80% of their wages, up to $2,500 a month, to the tune of possibly March. Details still to be determined, but you're talking about really some stimulus over there for furloughed workers. Doesn't look to be the case in the U.S., no matter what happens with those elections. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after the break.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&P's up 62 points. NASDAQ up 300 right now. The Dow up 371. These tech stocks, they're rocking in a big way, jumping around to some of the names. I mean, look at these accelerations, right? You get Amazon. We were trading at $29.50 earlier this week. We're going to open at around $33.23. Apple shares trading higher from $115 basically last night. You're at $118 right now. And check out Microsoft. I mean, just a rocket ship. We were at $200 on Monday. We're at $222 right now, more than a 10% pop from where we were just on Monday in Microsoft. Jumping back to those jobless claim numbers, we got at 8:30. So the headline number coming in, the Labor Department, 751,000 workers filed for benefits compared to 758,000 the week before. The market was looking for about 741,000. Third straight week, claims below 800,000 still would be a record in any other universe, folks. Was a record. I believe the previous record prior to COVID was talking about 670,000, maybe 700,000, somewhere in that range for a weekly jobless claims. We've been well over that number since March. The numbers come before non-farm payrolls. They're expected to show 530,000 in October. Now, this weekly number we just got, that's not going to be included in the October numbers. This makes point of continuing claims. Let's see where we are. Here we are. Continuing claims declined by 538,000 to 7.3 million. The key here, though, is that it's a continued migration from those losing benefits in the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Assistance Program, which saw yes, so let me rephrase it. They're migrating from those losing benefits into the Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Assistance Program, which saw its rolls increase by almost 300,000 to almost 4 million total there. So that number coming out at 8:30. We still got earnings. GM, they're trading higher after truck sales deliver big earnings beat in the third quarter. Net income, how about this? Surged 74% to $4.05 billion. They are doing some business. Adjusted earnings per share, $2.83. They were looking for $1.38. Revenue, they actually missed. Interesting. $4.37 billion in the third quarter, up 44% from a year earlier, despite U.S. sales declining 9.9% during the period. So they crushed it in terms of the profit. They repaid $5.2 billion in revolving credit. Let's see what else we got here. Either way, GM trading higher in a big way. Check out that from $35.24 to $37.44. Some context for GM. We're going to open basically right up near these highs. That high on October 23rd, you're talking about 38.03, and you're going to be above where we were pre-COVID for GM. Other earnings out there, Qualcomm, they are trading higher as well. Fourth quarter earnings they released last night. Getting into the numbers, they made $1.45 versus $1.17 expected. Crushed it on revenue percentage-wise, just huge. $6.5 billion. Market was looking for less than $6 billion. Net income up 76% from a year ago. It said that it expected revenue between $7.8 and $8.6 billion for the fiscal quarter ending in December, and earnings of almost more than $2. And Qualcomm said it's well placed to benefit from the rise of 5G networks and handsets. One of the modem chips is included in the iPhone 12. They said on Wednesday that it expects about 200 million smartphones with 5G to be shipped in 2020 and about 500 million 5G smartphones shipped in 2021. Folks, that's bananas numbers. Qualcomm, they are trading higher. On that news, how about this pop? Now, you see the chart. This is a daily, the recent high 132, and check it out. Kaboom. From 128 up to 146 this morning on Qualcomm shares, trading higher on their earnings. All right, what else we got going on in terms of companies out with numbers? I'm going to jump through some of the ones. Regeneron, they are out as well. Beat profit estimates, easing pandemic curbs, lift eye drug sales. All right, jumping into their numbers. Yeah, so they have the antibody treatment, remdesivir, I believe, right? Is that the one? No, that's a different one. Yeah. All right, either way, REGN, trading a bit higher, quite a price tag from 587 to 600. This has been one of the more volatile, jumping up all the way to 664. You back down under 550. You were at under 350 at the lows of the market in March. All right, some of the other companies that were jumping out at me this morning, Barrick Gold. So gold is trading higher today. The biggest gold company out there, Barrick Gold, I believe they have a market cap around like $50 billion with a B, $50 billion. The mining company increased its dividend by 12.5%. Quarterly profit that nearly tripled for the year earlier, benefited from a surge in the gold prices. Shares added 2%. Jumping over to Barrick, they are higher this morning. GOLD is their symbol. They're trading up a bit. There's your pop from 27.42 to 28.26, above where you were last night. Excuse me, 2 nights ago. I guess it would be overnight. Some context on Barrick, though, the highs of 31.22. We're going to open at about 28.27. And for some context on what they're talking about there, gold has had quite a run. Gold trading up $35. Now, that's a daily going all the way back. But you see where we were a year ago. I mean, let's put this even on a 3-year weekly. They have it. There we go. I mean, basically, for the better part of 2018 and most of 2019, I mean, you can make an argument things really started to rock and roll in May of last year. The uptrend begins, but you were still flirting at around 1,500 in good times at the end of 2019. You were flirting with 1,300 in the beginning. 2020, yeah, we had some real volatility, of course, with the market lows, but since then, you're talking about from 1,500, 1,931 right now in the price of gold, and you want to talk about an acceleration, folks. How about Bitcoin? Forget about 14,000. We're at 15,000. Bitcoin's up 6% at 835. We haven't seen these price tags, folks. 15,000. Did we get 15,000 in January? The high, 14,280. No, we did not. So you are going back to, these are weekly, so we did get it. January of 2018, the last time we saw 15,000, the price of Bitcoin. To put things in context here, I do like that phrase, context, very important. You only had 4 weeks of action in the futures when they opened before you were under 15,000, and we never saw that price level again until almost 3 years later. But we're back, and we're coming into a territory we've only seen for a period of about a month when those futures went live in December of 2017. All right, what else we have going on? So we have a Fed meeting. Jumping around to where I have. That's not it. Let me jump around. Lots of screens, lots of action going on today, folks. That's for sure. All right. Shame on me for not having this. There we go. And where's my Fed? No, I don't have them up here either. All right. Either way, we have a Fed meeting, 2 p.m. Eastern time tonight. What I was going to mention is over in Britain, and maybe I do have it up here. Here we go. Britain extends its coronavirus furlough program until the end of March. Now, the Fed, they're not capable of doing this. This is fiscal stimulus, folks. This is stuff. Once we get over this election hump, we still got to govern. It's November. Whoever the new president is doesn't come in till the end of January. We got 100,000 cases of COVID. We had, just 20 minutes ago, we just had a weekly jobless claims number that would have been a record breaker in any other universe. Somehow we're just becoming the norm. So hopefully we'll get some action in terms of fiscal stimulus, because over in Britain, man, they're going to 80% wages. You can get up to 2,500 pounds a month for hours not worked. I think it'd be great if we did something like that over here just to get through this time until we get that vaccine, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after the break. Finish up the show.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam! If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, just $89, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. We get the S&Ps up 62 points at 3496. The NASDAQ 100 up 307, trading above 12,000. I'm going to jump over to one of the stocks. We had a trade for PayPal this week in Rocket Equities and Option. Turned out to be a winner. Man, this thing, talk about some volatility. What we did is we sold a put spread below $180 on their earnings. Not the action you wanted to get overnight. Part of the methodology thinking is that maybe we get a little bit of a market acceleration to the upside on top of it. It's always nice when, if you're buying individual equities, folks, then you better not think the market's going to tank, right? Because no matter how good that equity is, same thing, if you're buying equities, you better hope the market is going to go up. In the long run, that's always true. You're making short-term trades. Man, you're making earnings trades on Monday coming into Tuesday election. But look at this volatility on PayPal. They had strong numbers, guidance a little bit weak, down to 174. Volatility up to 190, back to 180 in the last 2 days. You've traded from 180 to above 200. They got an upgrade as well overnight with a price tag of, I believe, about 221. PayPal's in a strong place. Regardless, online payments, they're going to start dealing with crypto, right? You got payments in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up at 15,000. And what else we got going on? Headlines real quick. The Fed, so they're out at 2 p.m. Two-day meeting ends today. Chairman Powell, he will likely be talking about the need for fiscal stimulus. Last go-around, folks, he said, the Fed chairman, put in there by Donald Trump, president, said the risk here is not doing enough. It's not doing too much and spending too much and building debt. The risk here is not doing enough. You can't just turn back on the economy. It's November 5th. We're dealing with 100,000 cases a day. We got almost 800,000 on a weekly jobless claim number. Be interesting to see what he has to say. And then we wait for vote numbers. We might get a president today. And then we wait for non-farm payrolls tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. And it's still a big week of earnings going on. All right, folks, stay tuned. We got our man Larry Pesavento. He's coming up live next. He always kicks off his program with a chart of that DAX, and the DAX is up 1.5% today. Market's positive. FTSE up about 0.6. We got gold rocking and rolling up $37. And we got the VIX this morning. How about it? 26.89. Stay tuned, folks. Larry Pesavento is coming up live next. Live programming all day at TFNN. Be right back.